Welcome to another episode of Marcel Mindset TV, episode 4, season 1, Unlock Your Mind. Mindset is everything. All right, remember guys, click that like button below, subscribe to the channel, and if you find any type of value from these videos that we produce, make sure you're going out there and you're sharing this content. All right guys, today we want to get a little bit into the youth. All right, so for me, working with youth for such a long period of time, I started to realize that the youth are the future. If we pour into the youth from now, you know, what can happen is when the generations are coming, when the next generation comes, they'll be more equipped, you know, they'll make better decisions. So my goal is to really pour into the youth. And when I say pour into the youth, whatever knowledge that we've acquired, whether it be somebody that's older or, you know, somebody that's like a senior or somebody that's just has a lot more life experience, our job is to really pour into the youth, you know, so they get the knowledge and the wisdom that maybe we acquired over an extended period of time or over our lifetime, that now we can give to them, where they can now, you know, take that and apply in their life. Because, you know, times have changed, society's a lot different. So how our youth, the next generation, is going to approach society will be different in certain ways than my generation or the older generations approach society. So just equipping the youth with the right tools and the resources and the knowledge to, you know, help them be ready for what the world throws at them. Because if you look now, you know, the millennials, a lot of millennials are struggling, you know, maybe to even get into the housing market in comparison to their parents' generation, because, you know, cost of living has gone up, but the income or the income per hour hasn't really exploded in the same way, you know, the cost of living has gone up. So it's just like, how do you kind of keep up with that? Where, you know, cost of living goes up, but your income kind of stays the same, or cost of living goes up, but the income goes up not as quick as the cost of living. So how are we keeping up with that? So we need to prepare the next generation for things like this. So when they do get, you know, of an age where they can buy property or invest or whatever the case may be, they have the ability to do that. They're not like, oh, I can't do that because there's no money there. So I believe equipping the next generation with not only money tips, but also like life tips too. So that's my goal, is to see the next generation do better than not only my generation. I'm a millennial, but all the other generations as well too that are older than my generation. That's the goal, because when I leave this earth, you know, I want to make sure that my kids are secure, their kids are secure, you know, because maybe I said the right things, I did the right things to set them up for the future. And everybody should be striving for that. When you're not here, are the people that come after you going to be okay? Whether it's you gave them wisdom, whether you gave them knowledge, whatever it was, are they going to be okay in this earth, in this world? Or are they going to leave worse than you? So the goal for me, at least, and it should be for everybody, is to like leave a legacy. Whether that be, you know, you're just creating content and the words that you're saying add value to someone. You know, you learn something and you're sharing it to somebody else that helped you in your life path, or lessons that you learned that you can share to other people. So that's what life is all about to me, and giving that to the youth, because we're not going to be here forever. And let's say, you know, you're here to 80, 90, you know, you should be trying to work on things that improve yourself, that you can now share to other people, because, you know, when you leave, what's going to be left for them? But I'm out here filming episode 4, and I'm really enjoying the process of doing this. And I really hope if you come across my video and you're a youth and you're thinking about creating content or getting on that content journey, that you really do that, because there's so much possibilities out there nowadays with the internet. You know, with the internet now, you could be global, right? Before, your parents' generation may not have this ability to create content the way we can create content, because there was no Instagram, maybe there was no Facebook. I'm not sure exactly when these got implemented or when they came in, but they definitely weren't around in the 60s, I can tell you that, or the 70s, right? This stuff came later. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and these are all platforms where you can go viral. People can listen to your message and it can inspire them. People can listen to your message and now want to work with you. People can listen to your message and now they want to buy your products. So if you're a youth and you're watching this, don't be afraid to come on the camera. Don't be afraid to express yourself. You're gonna make mistakes. You know, there's so many times that I speak on this camera that I make mistakes. There's so many times that I've said something, I'm like, oh, did that make sense? And maybe it didn't, and I'm keeping it on this film to show you, to be transparent with you, that to get better, you're gonna have to make mistakes. So it's okay to make the mistakes. You know, even on previous episodes, I look back and I watch, I'm like, oh, I didn't even mean that. Like what I said, it didn't really make sense to me. But I'm like, I don't want to edit that out because at that moment, that is what was in my head, and I can improve off that next time. Maybe I can think a little better before I speak, or, you know, does this actually make sense before I say it? But that's all part of the process of growing. So be willing to go through that process of making a mistake, you know, mumbling on your words. Maybe your phrases don't make sense, like I said before on the previous episode. But this episode, I really want to dedicate to youth because, like I said earlier on the show, the youth are the future, okay? And, you know, my job is to make sure that if I've learned something along the way, is to share it to the youth. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are gonna be the ones that are here longer than me. Or I'm gonna leave at some point and they're still gonna be here. So I wanna make sure that when they're here, they're creating things, they're developing things, they're passing on the knowledge, so the next generation and every generation to come is better off. And also, if I'm looking at it from a world perspective, if I leave them better off, then the world is gonna be a better place. But if I don't leave them better off, then who knows what this world could turn to. Because we always see that the world is changing, but we want the world to change for better, not for worse, for better. We want it to be getting better. We want more people to have more knowledge. So, you know, the more knowledge and wisdom they have, the better decisions they make. You know, the better they'll be in this world, the better they'll be able to handle certain things in this world. We don't want to leave them here and they're struggling. You know, they can't afford to buy property. They can't afford to live. You know, it's all stress. You know, then that leads to more mental health, anxiety, depression. We don't want that in this world. Maybe certain people want that to happen, but we don't want that to happen. If you're a people person, if you're about humanitarianism, you don't want people to struggle. You want to see people excel. You want to see people succeed in this life. So if you got some knowledge, you got some wisdom, ensure that you're sharing that with people, with youth specifically, because this show's about youth. Make sure you're sharing it with the youth, so when they do come up, they're more equipped for what this life will be, because we don't know. We can't predict that. I wish I could predict it. If I could predict that the world was going to be like this or the future was going to be like this, I would have thought a little different. You know, in elementary school, I would have started saving those pennies, or would have invested it into a stock, or I would have, you know, given it to someone and be like, give me this in 10, 20 years. And that's what I want to start off with. As a youth, you know, you got time, right? You got time on your side. So when you work, whether that be like you're working at a retail job, McDonald's, call center, because those are usually the type of jobs that youth get. Maybe you're working in a store, maybe you're just selling lemonade, maybe you're just shoveling snow, maybe you're just cutting grass. Take a portion of your money and put that away. Whether it's a savings account, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not telling you what type of savings account, but whether it's a savings account, whether it's in a stock, you know, you can use like Wealthsimple or something like that, put that in a stock. Just have it sit there for 5, 10, 15 years, and then let's say you're 14. At 24, you put it in a stock. I'm not, like I said, I'm not giving financial advice, or I'm not a financial advisor, but what I'm saying is, imagine you put the money, a portion of your income as a youth, into a stock, like let's say Apple or Coca-Cola, whatever stock. I'm just using those as an example. And at every paycheck you put $50 to, let's say, $200 in there. How much do you think you'll have in 10 years? You know, a lot more than you had when you were 14, that's for sure. And then now when you have that pot of money, you can use that for different investments to build more money. Because sometimes it takes money to make money. So if I had from 14 to 24, let's say I accumulated 50 grand. Let's just throw a random number out there. So at 24, you have 50 grand. Now, you can use that as an investment, whether that is an investment in yourself, to take a course that's gonna give you a skill that's now gonna help you make money, or you can take that money and invest in, let's say, real estate, and then now you got properties, maybe you have a property, now you got some equity, now you can take the money, take the equity out of there, now buy another property, or take the equity and do something else with it, or you buy a stock, you buy more stocks, you invest, so you're setting yourself up for the future because, retirement, before you know it, you get there. And like I said, time moves so quick because I was once a youth and boom, now I'm 34. So it's just like, where did the time go? I look back, I'm like, what is time? Does time exist? Look how quick time goes. So you don't want to waste your youth just, getting your money and just throwing it away or giving it back into society and being a consumer. Right? So you really want to be smart with your money. But the point I want to make here is, taking that money and you have time on your hands and invest in it. Don't take the money and spend it on material things. Don't take the money and spend it on things that have no value or things don't appreciate over time. You want to look at assets that appreciate. What are some things that appreciate? And when I say appreciate, I mean, if I buy something, does it go up in value? Gold, silver, real estate, stocks, if you're investing in the right things and you have the right advisors leading you. So you want to think about those things. What are you investing in that is appreciating over time? And that's the goal, that's the key. It's like, is this appreciating or is it depreciating? And you want to accumulate more assets than liabilities. So ask yourself that question. Is this an asset? Is this a liability? Do I want this? Do I need this? Is this going to pull me? Is this going to propel me forward or is this going to bring me down? So just start thinking about those things as a youth because you have time. You don't want to wait till you're older to start doing these things. Can you still do it? Yes. But it's better you start it from a young age because you have so much time. And then when you get to, your early 20s, you're not starting there and then you're like, oh, now the next 5-10 years I'm going to save this amount so I can now buy a property. Instead, you're getting to your early 20s and you have a pot of money there. And if you have a pot of money and you meet somebody else who had the same mindset as you, boom, you put your money together and you can start doing things. You're not going to get to retirement and you're struggling because I'm learning. I'm speaking to a bunch of people and some people have retirement packages when they go to work, and that's great. And I'll give this example. I was speaking to a lady the other day. She has a phenomenal job. She's been working for this organization for over 20 years. And she's given everything to this organization. And she came to me and said to me, I want you to know this. She's about 63 or 64 years old. And she said, make sure you have a game plan for when you retire, because I thought that when I retire, my retirement pension plan will cover or be the same amount of money that I was getting. She had no idea that it was actually half the amount that she's going to be getting in her retirement. She had no idea. So imagine that. For example, you make $4,000 per month. Now all of a sudden you retire, you get $2,000 per month from your pension. So how do you live if you're used to living off the $4,000 and you spend mostly $4,000 a month? If you do, I don't know if you do. I don't know expenses, but I'm just using that as an example. So how do you live now? So her message to me was, as an elder person telling me, and I'm sharing it to you, as a youth, was make sure you have like a side hustle. Make sure you have another skill, because let's say you were used to getting $4,000, now you get $2,000. How are you going to make up the other $2,000? Are you going to go and get another job at 65 or 70 years old? Or do you have a skill? Maybe you can be a consultant for the line of work that you were doing already. So think about those things. So start creating something now. So when you do get to 65, let's say you do work for a company for 25, 30, 40 years, and your retirement was only $2,000 a month, and you were getting $4,000 a month, how are you going to make up the other $2,000? Make sure you have another side hustle. or you've created something for yourself. You gotta think about the future. Don't just live in the moment as a youth, which it's very important to be present, number one, and yes, enjoy the moments, but also be thinking about the future and planning for the future, because the future does come quicker than you think. Before you know it, it's time to apply for university. Before you know it, it's time to get your first job. Before you know it, maybe you're married. Before you know it, you have kids. So like thinking about these things, not just being in the present moment and just enjoying life. Enjoy life, yes, but also prepare and think about the future, because it does come a lot quicker than you think. So that's why I'm here on the channel, spreading this message to you and hoping that you get this message so you're more equipped for the future. You make better decisions. And one thing I want to say, because I did go through that youth phase myself, was the whole, thinking that like designer things are going to give me confidence. And it's not, or altering myself. Not that I said I never alter myself, but what I'm saying, some people do alter themselves because they believe that if I alter myself, if I have designer clothes, if I drive this car, that more people are going to like me, or that's validation. And you don't want to fall into that, because when you fall into that, you're going to see your money just continue to go down and down and down, because those things are expensive. That $1,000 you want for that Gucci shirt, spend that $1,000, or don't spend it, put it in a stock and hold that $1,000 for the next 5 years, 10 years, because that Gucci shirt, I'm not putting down Gucci because I like Gucci, believe me, it's a beautiful brand, amazing Italian brand. But what I'm saying is, the Gucci shirt doesn't appreciate. The $1,000 that you spend on the Gucci shirt, it might get a stain, then you can't wear it again. It might rip. You might put on weight and you can't wear it anymore. But the stock, the $1,000 that you put in the stock to buy that stock, believe me, in the next 5 to 10 years, if you made the right choice, you spoke to advisors, and it's a company that's has been moving up over time, whether that's an index fund, S&P 500, Tesla, iPhone, Apple, sorry. I'm just giving a few names out there. I'm not saying specifically what to invest in. I'm just saying, imagine you put it in that $1,000 now becomes $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. But that shirt, it's in the garbage. That shirt, you can't wear it because it's too small. That shirt, you don't like it anymore. So you just lost $1,000. Where's $1,000? It's gone. But the stock, your money's still in rotation. It's still working. It's still moving. So that's a message that I have for my youth out there, is like to think about these things. Yeah, in the moment you think that people will care about that, but maybe for 5 to 10 minutes they're like, oh, he has a Gucci shirt, and then everybody forgets what you have. It's you. It's an inner self. It's your inner self. It's an inner game. It's not the exterior. Take care of your exterior. I mean, like have a fit body and everything, but do that because that is important for life. You want to be strong to deal with, certain things in life and the adversity that you're going to face. And having a strong body also gives you a strong mind. But it's not the exterior, it's the interior, it's what's inside. If you like me because I have Gucci on, then you're not the person I want to be around. That's the mentality you have to have. You should like me because I'm genuine, I have integrity, I'm caring, I'm kind, I'm honest, I'm helpful, I'm intellectual. Those are the reasons why people should be like, I want to be around this person. Not because he wears Gucci or he has a BMW or he has a Lamborghini. No, I want to be around this person because they're intellectual, they add value to my life, they're kind, I can trust them. So those are the things you want to be looking at as a youth. Not because someone has the latest J's. The shoes means nothing. It's the person, it's not the shoes. It's you, it's not your car. It's you, all right? So remember that as a youth, because it's so easy to get caught up in that whole materialistic life. And adults do it too as well. Adults get caught up in that as well too. They're never happy. And there's always gonna be a new Gucci shirt. There's always gonna be a new Fendi shirt, whatever it is you wear. So if you're basing your happiness on material things, believe me, you'll never be happy. Happiness comes from within. So my youth out there, the investing part is key. Start young. You got time on your hands. Most likely you're living at home. So a portion of your check, save that money. Even if you have to give it to your parents, I wouldn't say give it to a friend, give it to your parents, and they invest it for you, or you reach out to someone that can help you get on that path. Because it's great to start young because you have so much time. And over time, the more money you put away, you'll look back and you're thankful you did that. Because then now, when you want to make an investment, when you want to move out, the money's there. You won't be at a point where you want to move out. Now you're like, oh, now I got to save this amount of money. So just thinking ahead. I'm speaking to the youth out here because you guys are the future. Right? And I want to help you make better choices. I want to help you think differently than maybe my generation, the millennials. Because if millennials are struggling to buy property, maybe they weren't listening, or maybe they didn't get this message. So don't fall into that boat as well too. Because who knows what the world is going to be like in the next 5, 10, 20 years. Like we say, things are expensive now. Imagine 20 years. Imagine it's triple. What are you going to do then? You want to be like, okay, it's triple. I prepped myself 10, 15 years ago. I invested in this. I started this. I started content creation. I started a small business. I got a good job. I got my education. I invested my money. So you want to be thinking about the future. You want to be strategic. They say think like a chess player. Be strategic. Think about your next move. That's how it is in chess. You're thinking about your next move. What's the next move ahead? If I move here, how is this going to affect me? If I move over here, how's that going to affect me? If I make this move, am I going to get wiped out? Or if I make this move, is it going to pull me forward? So be thinking about those things as a youth. I know it's hard because maybe you're not in control of your emotions as much, or you haven't gone through enough life experience. But really listen to what I'm saying, because this will help you. I've been through that experience. I'm only speaking based on experience. So take these words, apply it, and that's the key. What you learn, apply. And I will say, as a youth, sometimes you got an ego. You think you know it all. And there is a saying, and I've said it before, he who knows everything knows nothing. Don't think you know it all. You'll never know it all. Even when you get to your 30s, you'll never know it all. There's always something to learn. Realize that you're always something to learn. You'll always be learning. And the more you learn, you'll evolve. But if you close yourself off to learning, people won't want to teach you. You'll miss out on opportunities. You won't see things. So you got to stay open-minded. You got to be open to learning, because then the universe, will show you more things if you're open to learning. But if you're not open to learning, you blocked yourself. And then the universe can't show you certain things. But be open to learning. Don't have an ego and think, yo, I know this all, or I know it all. Or an elder person's telling you something, you're like, yo, it doesn't matter what they're saying, or they don't know what they're talking about. They're old. You don't want to be that person that does that, because then you miss out. And then you wake up one day, you're like, what did I do? Why didn't I listen? So, drop the ego, let it go, and just be open to learning and growing, and listen from people that have been through certain experiences in life. They'll help you. Most times adults, if you ask them, if you go up to adults and say to them, what is one thing you learned in your life? No matter if it's like a rich person, a homeless person, a middle class person, they can tell you something. Everybody can teach you a lesson. Every single person can be like, this is what I learned in life. The person sitting down the street begging for money can say, this is what I learned in life. The person who has the most money in their pocket could say to you, this is what I learned from life. So be open-minded. Don't be so close-minded, right? And also, what I want to say too, like as a high school student, as a youth, maybe you're in grade 12 and you're thinking about that next step in life. You're thinking about what do you want to do for your future? And there's a lot of pressure around that sometimes, right? Because you're like, I'm in grade 12, now I got to make an instant decision what I want to do for the rest of my life. And what I want to say, because I've been in that position, is if you don't know exactly what you want to do, volunteer. Volunteer at different places. Look at yourself, do some inner work and say, what are some things I enjoy doing? Because work, you spend the majority of your life working. So you want to be doing things that you actually love to do. So if growing up you knew like you were passionate about the gym, maybe you can look at like personal training stuff, go volunteer. Fitness stuff, physiotherapy stuff. if that's your interest, training, whatever it is, like looking into that and seeing, is that something I actually enjoy? Like, or like, let's say you like to draw, like being an artist or like drawing for companies or whatever it is. Just looking into that, volunteering in that first before actually jumping into that, right? Just volunteer your time before, if you're lost, like I don't know what I want to do. Instead of just jumping into university, maybe you're taking a loan, 40, 50,000, and then you take a program, and at the end of the 4 or 5 years, you find out that, number one, you don't even like this program, or number two, this program doesn't lead to anywhere, or maybe the ceiling is so low in this program. I've taken this program, and the max you can make is 50, 60 grand. I've taken this program and there's no jobs in this industry, in the market that I'm in. So think about these things. You know, don't just jump into it because, you know, your friend's going to university, your friend's going to college. Have a plan. Be like, you know what? I'm going to college because I'm super passionate about being a plumber or electrician. I'm going to university because I want to be a professor. So now I'm going to take my undergrad, my master's, and now my PhD. But if you don't know what you want to do exactly, don't just jump into school thinking you'll figure it out as you go along. Don't figure it out at the cost of using your money, because that money could be used in other ways. So that's what I want to say, because a lot of people now, they just gone to school because they think, let me just go to school and everything else will get figured out. No, it doesn't work like that. Make sure you have a plan when you are going to school. You're intentional. You know, I'm going to school because I know I want to do this, or I'm going to school because I want to be this, or I go to school and it's going to lead me on this path. Because as a youth, it's a lot of pressure to be like, what's the next step? You know, what do I want to do? But like I said, spending time with yourself, getting to know who you are, what are some of your passions, what are some of your skills, what are some things you love to do. And if it seems kind of weird, it's okay. If it seems right to you, go and do it. And sometimes some of your dreams and your goals sound way out there. Maybe you've been such a great speaker and you're supposed to be a motivational speaker, or you think it's a career that's impossible. It's not. You can work, and you can work on that skill until the motivational speaking turns into something massive. Never count yourself out. Never think that, you know, the job you want to do is something that is impossible. It's possible. It's all possible. Is it going to be easy? No, it's going to take a lot of work. You know, so I hope this little episode 4, which has been dedicated to the youth, has been inspiring, and I hope that, you know, you take what I'm saying and you start applying what I'm saying into your life. You start, you know, thinking about your life a little bit different. You start making different decisions, you know, as a youth, because what you do today will determine your future. You know, where you are today is a result of what you did maybe last year, 5 years, 10 years ago. You know, me sitting here today was a result of me 2-3 years ago reading, discovering who I am, working on myself, spending time alone, praying, meditating, visualizing. That results in me sitting here today. But the things I do today, if I didn't do the things I do today, I'm gonna see maybe 5-10 years. This is the video that I'm sitting down here today on this date. I might look back, like in the next 5 years, I might look back and be like, okay, you know, I might not see the result of this video for another 5 to 10 years. And you have to be okay with that. You're not gonna see your results right away. So the message I want to deliver with that is stay patient. Don't expect immediate results, instant gratification. Instagram, if you break down the word Instagram, it's almost like instant gram, instant dopamine. Don't fall into that, because we live in a generation where it's just like quick, quick, quick. Next TikTok, next TikTok, next meme, next Instagram post. We can't even get through 30 seconds of something because we're being programmed in that way. Quick, 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 quick. No, sit down. Study this stuff. You know, watch thought leaders and motivational speakers for 30 minutes, an hour, and see what they're saying. Take notes. Let the information absorb into you, because it's so quick. How are you really absorbing things if you're just like quickly glancing through and going quickly? You're programming yourself for everything to be so quick. Slow down. You know, take time to listen to the words, break the words down. If you don't understand a specific word, break it down. Use a dictionary, because the more you understand things, I'm telling you, you'll be more equipped for this life, the more understanding you have. Things will make more sense to you. If someone's speaking, they're saying something, you understand what they're saying more. But if you're just going quick, you miss out. Take your time. Episode 4, baby. I'm having fun doing this. Season 1. And I hope you're learning a bunch. You're not only just listening to what I'm saying, but you're also taking notes as well, too. All right, comment below. Tap that like button. Share these videos. Subscribe to the channel. All right, unlock your mind. Mindset is everything. Episode 4. Marcel Hyde. Remember, Marcel Mindset TV. Peace.